We got a little bit behind here, but the people in the back from Ruston with us it took too long to get through and get their food. But we appreciate all of our sponsors. You'll all be recognized. Please thank the sponsors before you leave, and but you all will be acknowledged before we leave today. The drawings we had, Paula, you mentioned we had a listening contest October 15th of January. We went out 30 or 40 drawings, random drawings to our agents who had listings during that time. So just bear with us on that. Thank all our sponsors, all the spouses. If you're a spouse here with one of the agents, we know what you go through. We thank you all. Our staff, fantastic staff, 10 people. Wow, thank y'all very much for tolerating me all these. It's not that bad. Jeez. And veterans, if you're a veteran, stand up. If you're a veteran here, stand up. Military, whatever. Thank y'all very much. And we always acknowledge our Wall of Fame members that have reached certain levels. We have a few more we'll be adding today. If you're a member of our Wall of Fame at Group 1 Realty, stand up real quick. Thank y'all. Thank you. If you've ever been married to me, if you... No. All right. We are so honored to have Mayor Dave Norris with us. I'm not going to talk about him because it's in your thing. You can read all about him and everything. He's been the mayor since 1978. Many of y'all were not born then. But we will admit, he has mayored the city of West Monroe with integrity, honesty, fairness, almost no controversy other than that lot you wouldn't let me sell next door. But we appreciate him very, very much and coming to say a few words for us. Mayor.
Well, thank you. Thank you, John. It's good to see you again. I get to see John. He's invited me to come to this meeting before, and I don't see him very often, but I'm very proud. I know he's very proud of the business that he's built, and he's got a wonderful reputation as the company. When John asked me to come, and I'm sorry, that was Daryl.
98 years old.
I was going to call you something else, but Daryl's been a real good friend for a long time. Daryl John is he's made fun of me for being old, and that's hurt my feelings quite a bit. When he called me, or I think he sent me an email, but when he called me and asked me to come and speak today, he said you can come anytime between this time and at 2 different times, and then he said you can talk as long as you want to, or whatever you want to talk about, as long as it's not over 10 or 15 minutes. And so there wasn't much way I could tell him I couldn't do it, because the time was flexible. That he even said I'll change the date that we're going to do this, and so he said I can talk about anything I want to. My wife talked to me this morning. She said, "Where are you going today?" And the reason she asked me is because I had a sport coat on, and I said I'm going to a meeting to speak to a group. And she said, "What are you talking about?" I said, "Well, Daryl had asked me to just kind of talk about whatever I'd kind of like to." And she said, "Well, you know, most of the time when you talk to groups, you're very bored." And she said, "Don't talk about the kind of things that are boring. Talk about something that people are interested in." So you got any thoughts about what that might be? And Daryl did mention to me that several people said they might have some questions asked, so I'll be glad to answer any questions that you have. I'll tell you just a few things about West Monroe real fast, or things that are going on that might be relevant to what you're doing in your occupation. over the next couple of years, and we've already started on it, but we're going to spend somewhere between 30 and 40 million dollars on infrastructure updates. We're already doing it. We're doing water, sewer, streets, and drainage. And for a city our size, that amount of money is pretty substantial. So you'll see a lot of changes. Sewer changes don't make much difference to you unless your sewer doesn't work. But water makes a difference. Any kind of infrastructure improvements that make it a better place to live are really important things to do. If you look over behind the Ike, there's a new water tower going up that'll give us plenty of water storage. We've got 2 new water wells to go with the water wells that we have. Currently, we've got a tremendous number of sewer improvements going on and a lot of street overlays. There'll be a lot of asphalt being laid in the city of West Monroe. Probably between the sewer and the asphalt, there'll probably be somewhere around $15 million worth of street and sewer work. So for a city our size, that's pretty substantial. I got an email yesterday that said West Monroe had been chosen by some group as the 3rd best place in Louisiana to retire. We'd gotten a ranking just about 2 years ago as the 3rd best place for young couples to live and to raise a family, and I thought that was pretty nice, and several other things like that we've gotten down through the years. So when you're talking to people about living in West Ouachita Parish, you can tell them that we do have a good quality of life. There are a lot of good things that are going on in the city. And that kind of extends also into West Ouachita Parish. So we have a lot of positive things to do. We're the first city in Louisiana to have a nationally accredited police department, the first one to have a nationally accredited senior center, and most of the services, I think all the services the city has, are very positive. I'll tell you a couple of things you may not know about the flood. The flood in March of last year, Governor Edwards was able to get the flood that occurred in August and the flood that occurred in March together to get a federal declaration, and we're going to get in Louisiana $1.9 billion, although he's asked for more money for flood improvements. And a good portion, well, not a good portion, but a portion of that money is going to come to Ouachita Parish for people that were adversely affected by the flood. Even people that have done repairs to their homes, there's a certain process you can go to get some funding if you've already repaired your home. So that's going to be a positive thing. That'll be announced in the next few weeks. That plan is already with HUD, and HUD is going to approve it, I think, the next month or so. So that money will probably be available starting sometime late in March or possibly early in April. We'll just have to see how fast the federal government gets their part done. But it will be, there are a lot of stipulations that have to do with how that money has to be spent. Also, we just got word from the flood in March that we're going to get about $6 million in Ouachita Parish for hazard mitigation. The $6 million will be spread out between the city of West Monroe, the city of Monroe, and Ouachita Parish. City of West Monroe is going to get about $1.9 million. We're going to put $2 to $3 million with that to make significant improvements to the Black Bayou Drainage Canal. So we hope to be able to reduce the possibility of flooding in the future. When I got elected in '78, I didn't know much about drainage or anything like that, and we had, let's see, that was September. I took office in July. In September, we had what the meteorologists call the 500-year flood. It was a terrible, terrible situation. As Darrell said, most of you weren't living then, but I felt like after we recovered from that, we won't have another flood like that for 500 years, and I probably will be gone by then. Well, now we've had the 1,000-year flood, what meteorologists say. So either I'm a jinx or the meteorologists don't know what they're talking about. But we've had the 500 and the 1,000-year flood during my time of being in office. So Noah and I do have that in common. If you got any questions, I think it's an exciting time. I was standing out and looking out at the Ike and at all the area around here. And I remember when I talked our city council into buying all this property here, where the hotels and the car dealerships and the John Deere place and everything else is. And it was a horrible looking piece of property. It was an old worked out gravel pit. It was, didn't seem to have much value, but I had an idea that we could reclaim it. I never thought we'd have the kind of development on this property that we have today. It's really interesting to come out here and see all of the traffic and see all the people that are here. The Ike is the biggest tourist attraction in Northeast Louisiana, and one of the biggest in anywhere from Alexandria north. So that's been a real success, and the property's been very well received in the market. If you have a good department store that would like to come on the 55 acres that we still have out here, we'll be glad to, you do a deal for us, and we'll be glad to do that.